Okay, Friday night, time for an update. It's time to start thinking about scenics. Now, these IKEA table boards are pretty good. Nice and sturdy, nice and cheap. The issue is the coating they have is very repellent. Nothing wants to stick to it. So I've been doing a little bit of testing, and this current patch is it's still wet, is the latest test of the technique I'm using and hoping to use throughout the entire modelling process. It's just a corner for now, so a bit of waste ground, a bit of field or whatever. The technique is as follows: you need to sand down the surface ever so slightly with a fine grit sandpaper, just to get a bit of a key. Do 2 coats of an earth coloured paint or tarmac coloured paint, whatever you're going to put there. This was dirt, so I used a mocha coloured paint. Give it 1 coat, let it dry, put another one, and then once that's dry, start putting your sinks down as you would normally. Spray a little bit of glue down, or spread a bit of PVA on there. It might upset the paint, but that's fine. And then sprinkle your scatter, static grass, flock, whatever you want to use. And then apply a mix of PVA and water and washing up liquid, or scenic cement, or whatever you want to do, and just spray it on with the old Mark 1 spray bottle there. We'll see how this looks in the morning. So, Saturday evening now, and the situation is if the ballasted area is really good. Well, the bit that had a decent undercoat of paint on it, but this bit here, the paint lifted underneath and it's still wet, and as you can see it's peeling off like this. And the same with this stuff here, even though the undercoat was really stiff, it's just coming off. So in hindsight, what would have been a better idea is to coat or base these IKEA tables with plywood sheets over the top of them. But we live in hindsight, so the only other option I've got now is, because I am not taking all the track back up, not a chance, is to essentially sand off with my orbital sander as much of that top layer as possible, because apparently just keying it isn't strong enough. That's right, but that is a mess. Disappointed with that, but there we are. You live and you learn. So yeah, this shouldn't still be damp after almost 24 hours. It's been down for about 18 hours. It's just your regular old PVA water mix, and it's strong as well. So there we go. Let's see what happens when I properly sand it down. Okay, so a little bit of time later, this little section here, I've sanded back even further than the previous sections. This section here is actually set pretty good. I think because the ballast is harder, it's reacted better with the glue. This is actually still damp. So I'm thinking maybe it needs a bit longer to dry, as is that section and that section and that section. So it's not as warm as it was during the summer when I built the last layout, so a bit more time might be necessary. So rather than 24 hours, it might need 36. Here we go. This section's fresh, as I said before. I've not painted underneath that either, because, and the theory behind it is, because I've sanded it down even further using the sandpaper, it has more of a key to the surface, and hopefully it'll work better. I'll let you know in the morning if it looks like it's going to work or not. There we are. Really should have put something down, but there we go. Anyway, we live and we learn, boys and girls. There we are. Back over at the TMD area, I'm just putting buildings and things down, trying to get a lay of the land of the area I've got to work with, thinking of having the retaining wall start there. A little gap for the entrance. Now these buildings won't stay, they're just there to represent the buildings over there. And then you have the carriage sidings as soon as you come into the depot. Half standing at this bit here for the actual maintenance shed. Then of course you've got your waiting line there, general maintenance, and then you've got your fuel line there. I may keep the old fuel point, may not. And then there you can see what I've just sort of drawn where the second tunnel mouth is going to be. So all this will be hidden within a tunnel. I'm hoping to have a lift section there so I can put some scenery, possibly a town scene going back. So the rear track will be covered, but it won't be sealed at the back, so I can still get behind it as I did before to clean that rear section. So there we are. Anyway, well, let's have a look and see how that all that flock and stuff did back on the other side of the layout. Actually, I've just had another idea. I've got some of this stuff left over. This no more nails stuff, instant nail scrap. It's very sticky, and you can't see it really, but I'll just give it a splodge on this second test area here and use a sponge, a little kitchen sponge, just to roughly smooth it over. Now it's got some little undulations and marks in it, but because all this area is essentially going to be grassland and it's a test at the minute, I think it's going to give me that nice rough textured surface that I'm going to need to put my scenics on. And obviously you can sand this stuff, but you can see just how deep it is there. So it's certainly deep enough. I'm just hoping that it allows. Now I know PVA bonds to this stuff. I'm hoping that it allows for some good keyage. If that's the case, it's a lot easier blasting this stuff down. I've had to cut the end off. Blasting this stuff down than it is sanding laboriously and messing about with that. So all I've got to do now is just hopefully, if this works, lay it down, PVA, scenics, let it dry. Hopefully that'll give it a nice solid bond. Right then, let's see how we get on in the morning. Sunday morning. This is the area that we did last night with the nail stuff. This was the bit that wasn't dry. That's now nice and crispy, although it's flaked away. But it's now no longer peeling fresh up, which is good. This bit has also dried. This bit is drying, but it's still soft in areas. It's not great, but this bit has done really well. It's almost dry. This bit is dry. You can hear how grippy that is. It's good. Nothing's coming off. I just lightly sprinkled some flock over it, just to give it a bit of a test, and it's worked. So that's there. That's done really, really well. That's not coming off or anything. So right then. So all I need to do is essentially put no more nails down on the IKEA tables before I put scenery on them, and then we're good to go. Sorted. Right, also, thanks to all the new subscribers. Really good to have you along for the adventure. Before the adventure, that is this model railway of mine. And if you found me from the Jenny Kirk live stream, let me know down below in the comments. And that's it for this week, guys, so I'll let you know what's happening later on. Wednesday we'll have another update. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Possibly something to do with the buildings over that side. So remember, if you're going to use IKEA tables like I did, don't be a Doylem and use some plywood as a topping, if you will, for the tables, because otherwise you're spending all your life sanding them down Alternatively, use a filler or something like normal nails as a basing glue. Right. Cheers folks, see you soon. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.